Hi team, so today we're looking at mean, median, mode and range. So these are the summary statistics of a set of data. So mean, median and mode will look at the central tendency of a set of data. So let's have a look at this question here. So we've collected some data about the number of ice creams sold per day in January, and we've just got a collection of the data here. So it's not ordered per se. I would say that it's just collected on, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, etc. So it wants us to calculate the mean, median, mode and range. All right. So mean is average. So average, good thing I can spell. So what we need to do is add up all of these data points and then divide them by the number of data points in that collection. Median is the middle number when arranged in order, so they do need to be ordered. We can't just count through these and find the number that's in the middle. It has to be ordered. And mode is the most common number that appears. Range, of course, is the highest value, take the lowest value. So I'm going to go ahead and work these out. Okay, so I went through and I added up each of these numbers, and I got a total of 1,198. Okay, so then I went through and I counted the number of data points in my collection, and I got 31, so I need to divide this by 31. Now, the reason that you can't just simply put it in your calculator as all of these points added up and then just divided by 31 is that it's going to take this last data point and divide that by 31 and then add that number to all the rest of your data points, which will give you an incorrect and ridiculous answer. So be sure to perform this action first in summing all of your data points and then dividing by the number that there are. So then this gives me my average. Now, usually you're going to go to 2 decimal places. I would say that that's a nice happy spot, but just make sure that you check on the question that it hasn't specified how many decimal places that it would like it to be. So then we end up with an average or mean of 38.645. Now if we make it to 2 decimal places, it's going to be 38.65, of course, because this is a 5, so we're going to round up our 4. Okay, so let's go on now to our median. So to do our median, we need to put these data points in order. So I'm going to say that 8 is my smallest, so then I'm going to cross that off. Then I've got 13. Next up, I'd say, is my 16. 21. All right, I'll go ahead and do this, and then we'll come back and find where the median is. Okay, so it's a bit of a process, but I've gone through and I've ordered all of my data, and I've counted back to make sure that I've got the same number here as I do here. So then, because I know that I've got 31 pieces of data, my median is going to be in the middle. So I need to divide this by 2. So 31 divided by 2 gives me 15.5. So what I've done is I've counted back 15, so counted forward 15 from my start, which gives me 42, and counted back 15 from my end is the 43. And as you can see, I'm left with this one number in the middle. So I've got 15 data points on each side. So 42 is my median. And as you can see, it's sort of in a similar sort of area as my average, which makes me believe that that is a a correct point and that I've calculated my average correctly. Okay, so then the mode, the most common number that appears, or the most common in my data. So I've got 3 days where I sold 42 ice creams. And I've also got 3 days where I sold 46. I don't think I've got any other days where I've sold any 3 ice creams or 4 ice creams, which would be more. I just got my 2 days where I've sold 42 and 46. So that means that 42 and 46 both appear the most. So those are both the mode. And then my range. Now, because I've ordered my data and spent the time doing that, I can see that my highest value is 59. So 59 ice creams sold on one day. And the least number sold is 8. Or the lowest number sold is 8. So you simply go 59, take 8 is 51. So that means that there is the difference of 51 ice creams in my data set, but from my lowest day sales to my highest day sales. Alright, so the next part of the question wants us to construct a frequency table with class intervals. So what does that actually mean? Okay, so we're looking at creating these class intervals. So creating these class intervals. So I'm just going to get rid of this because we've actually got what kind of data here. So we know we've got numerical, but is it continuous or discrete? So it's not continuous because you're not going to sell 8.5 ice creams. You're going to sell either 8 or 9. So it doesn't continue right along that spectrum. It doesn't contain decimals. It's sort of whole numbers only. So if I'm going to make these intervals, I'm going to say that, because 8 is my lowest number, 59 is my highest, I'm going to start my class intervals at 5 ice creams, and then I'm going to go to 9 ice creams. Because that way, for the interval of 5, I've got 5 ice creams, 6 ice creams, 7 ice creams, 8 ice creams, 9 ice creams. So you can see that that is an interval of 5. So then my next intervals are going to start at 10, and that's going to go to 14. And then 15 up to 19, 20 to 24, and so on. 25 up to 29. 30 to 34, 35 to 39, 40 to 44, 45 to 49, 50 to 54, and 55 to 59. Okay, now 59 is my last data point, and that will fit into my last interval, so I'm going to leave my intervals there now. Now I just need to go through and put in where each of these numbers will fit into my class intervals. So 8 is going to fit in here, so I'm going to have 1 in here. 13 will fit into this class interval. 16 goes up into my next interval. 19 will also fit into this interval, so I've actually got 2 data points in there, and I'll just work through my data set now. Okay, so I've gone through and I've put each of these individual days into my class intervals. So you can see that for each individual, each class interval, they will have a frequency to them. So I've tallied them up and now collect their frequency. So I've got 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 5, 7, 3, and 3. Okay, so from this data, I wouldn't be able to calculate either my mean or my range or even my median, because I actually don't have those data points. I don't know the specifics of it. I could say that my most common interval was between 45 and 49. So that's where most of my, the greatest number of days where the greatest number of ice creams were sold would be in there. But yeah, because it's only looking at the class intervals, I can't really talk about the central tendency or anything like that because I haven't got those specific data points here anymore. All right, so then you would go ahead and again construct that for a 10 and for a 15 class interval, which would be the same process. So I would be starting at 5 again, I would say, and moving up to then, so 5 up to 14 and so on and so forth.